The views expressed in this program do not necessarily reflect those of this station.
Welcome to Insights into Northeast Michigan, a WBKB News public affairs program. Insights deals with the issues affecting those in the community as well as Northeast Michigan and the state. And now, Insights into Northeast Michigan.
Welcome to Insights. I'm Sherry Stewart. Joining me today is Adam Pohl, Planning and Development Director for the City of Alpena, Mayor Matt Wallagora, and Mike Mahler, Economic Development Director for the Alpena Chamber of Commerce. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining me today.
Thank you for having us.
And we have a lot to talk about when it comes to economic development. You know, not only have we entered a new year, but a new decade. And so many cities across the country, and obviously including Alpena, are taking stock of your economic status and planning to move forward. So I know that the city has seen some improvements, but we have some challenges. So we want to unpack both of those. So let's start with the great improvements that we've seen economically here in the city. Adam.
Absolutely. As you drive around town, you'll notice there are a significant number of projects right now. There's a credit unions going up over on Bagley. We have an assisted living facility that's being finished off right now. And them are just some of the more visible improvements. There are obviously a number of other smaller construction projects to go, and the hospital is going to be starting a significant improvement as well. So we stay busy here at City Hall, and we try to help out many developments whenever we can.
Yeah, and that's really exciting. Anytime there's a new medical facility coming into a town, that's really great news.
Absolutely, it's something that obviously we need, and we think makes this community just that much more exciting and great place to live.
Absolutely, absolutely. And Mayor, what are your thoughts on the economic development conditions, and as you move forward in this, not just the new year, but the new decade?
Sure. Yeah, I didn't really think about that recently, but sure, we've done quite a bit in positive improvements in the last several years, the last decade, really.
Yeah.
So I think with the right people in place, which we have, a great team, both of these guys know what they're doing and know who to reach out to and help businesses move to town, and so I think we're moving in the right direction, and we'll just keep improving and keep building.
Right. So Mike, when helping businesses come to town, what is the process? How do you sell Alpena to prospective businesses? How do you sell the city?
That's a great question. A lot of things. So hopefully they've done their research, and that's why they're here to begin with. They're already sold in the city, which makes their job a lot easier. But then it's just putting people with the getting the resources in front of them that they need. Because for the most part, I think a lot of people come to town are looking for what kind of support is there to help me get started.
Right.
That's where Adam and I, I'm new in this role, but Adam and I spent a lot of time together already. I realized what an important cog he is in this whole process. Knowing what kind of programs are available to potentially somebody wants to start a business, or we had a meeting this morning with somebody looking at maybe redoing some things around town. And again, what kind of resources can the city and or the government bring to me to help me get started, to help reduce my cost of entry. And so just again, my role is kind of helping bring people together and trying to just facilitate those first steps, second steps, and we talked about bringing jobs or bringing new business to town. There's also an element of retaining businesses as well.
Right.
I mean, that's another piece of this that we can't lose sight of either. It's great to bring somebody new into town, but if somebody's having issues, we need to be able to figure out if there's a way we can help them. And so that's also incumbent upon all of us in the economic development area to be able to do those kinds of things.
Absolutely. Do you see, and either one of you can answer this, do you see the challenges with Alpena? Are they germane to a smaller town like this, a quaint town like Alpena? Are you out of the ordinary? What would you say about that?
Well, I can answer part of that is we do have challenges for being where we are. Those are obvious. And so a lot of times Mike will attest to the chicken before the egg, as far as, well, we dealt with that a lot when we got the Holiday Inn Express here. Do you have enough people to fill it? Do you have enough tourists and visitors and business people to fill my rooms? And we're on our side looking at it and saying, well, we need more in order to bring those people and those groups and those conventions here. So we have a balance like that we try to overcome, and sometimes it's just like Mike and Adam said, if we can come up with enough incentives when we know we think we're right, to meet that challenge and to get those businesses a good head start to come in, and they've been very successful.
And to add to that, we are definitely a unique community in the fact that we are geographically in a unique and a unusual position compared to many other cities our size that are closer to larger urban areas. Certainly doesn't seem to be the case here, where there's Alpena, and then you have to go a significant portion to find any other major cities or anything like that. So we try to be the leaders for economic development in our programs because we're the ones that need to be for Northeast Michigan. In addition, we want to partner with other communities as well and utilize their expertise, and we certainly want to make sure that we try to include all the other governments as well.
Right, right. And I did read in one of your reports is that you are preparing for to accommodate a large and growing elderly population. So there seems to be a lot of pros with that because obviously, I would think that it's an area that elderly feel this is a great place for me maybe to retire and slow down a little bit. So how are you helping to make life great for your aging population here?
Well, ultimately, we mentioned a few things that maybe that we don't have complete control of, but they're coming. For instance, we talked about significant improvements for the hospital.
Yeah.
In addition to that, we mentioned an assisted living facility being constructed, and then more recently, we've had approvals for a senior living complex. So definitely, we want to make sure that there's a place for older populations, and one of the things they have. There are a lot of them retiring here because we do have fairly low real estate costs, and that we do have a lot of amenities that other communities don't necessarily have.
Right, absolutely. And then conversely to that, so trying to diversify that a little bit. I know we were talking off camera about maybe our younger population, our millennials. There are many millennials that do prefer, wider, expansive space, and some want the more metropolitan areas. So how do you kind of address that need?
Well, from my perspective, like we talked a little bit, we can't be everything to everyone.
Absolutely.
There's a younger community that wants the metro scene, and we're not going to become that. But for those individuals that want to move their young family up here, we do our best to accommodate that and put that into our future. And it seems to be working slowly in the last several years. A lot of our downtown business owners and business owners throughout the city are in that 35-year-old range and bringing their children here. So that stuff like that depends on having good Wi-Fi, so they may or may not be able to work from home for a larger facility, and having jobs and having a good school system and having a good public safety system. Those are things that are important to people that want to move their family up here and want to be in Northeast Michigan. So we do our best, and then we add, of course, our big partners with the Rotary last year for the splash park and improving our parks and things for kids to do. So we definitely do our best to do that.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, we're going to talk more about economic conditions and the outlook for the city of Alpena. Looks like you guys are on point, doing some wonderful things, addressing some of the challenges. But when we come back, we want to talk about more of some of the specific projects that we can look forward to, perhaps bringing more apartment inventory into the city and things of that nature. So we'll talk a little bit more about that when we come back. You're watching Insights. Well, welcome back to Insights, and we're picking up our conversation with Adam Pohl, Mayor Wallagora, and Mike Mahler, talking about the economic development and projects that are going on in downtown Alpena. And there's some exciting things afoot. So there is a plan to bring more apartment space, more loft apartment space. Tell me a little bit more about that, Adam.
Absolutely. You look back about 15, 20 years, and there's very few apartments. And we've been fairly successful with working with the state and as well as business owners that own the buildings, and we've gotten up to about 30 different apartments in the downtown over the course of those years, and right now we have another 10 in progress.
That's exciting.
So there's certainly a lot of movement on that, and they've been very successful. They're nearly 100% occupied almost all.
So obviously there's a demand for that, and that's great for the city because that brings more foot traffic and more people, just more energy downtown.
Exactly right.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. And Mayor, I know you're excited about that too. What are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I think it's great. Again, it's something that a lot of younger residents like to live downtown, and nothing like living in a brand new apartment downtown Alpena.
Yeah.
So it's very cool. It's drawn a lot of people. I
Absolutely.
think the last we were told, the majority, if not all of them, are full
Yes.
or have been, and
Yeah.
so that means that's where people want to live.
Yeah,
so.
that your plan is meeting the demand for that. So that's really
Sure.
exciting. And I know, Mike, you were talking about there's also a plan to take some of the public space and maybe beautify that a little bit, some of the public space that we have downtown.
Yeah, so I serve on the Downtown Development Authority Board, and we've been working on a couple different things here that are all about driving people downtown
Yeah.
and having them stay downtown when they get there. So there's talk about potentially redesigning or giving a facelift to Culligan Plaza, making it a little more user-friendly. There's talk about off of Second Avenue, the alley there, potentially turning that into again, a public space with better lighting and maybe art on the walls, that kind of thing, again, to help make the downtown more attractive and help people who come down here want to stay down here for more than just 15 minutes, you know? So again, it's about, I just think about in the last 15 years, 10 years, the restaurants that have shown up downtown, which are a big attraction, a big draw. And like the mayor said, you know, you've got a lot of, you got a lot more apartments on there. There's places for those people who live in those apartments that now do downtown. And so again, just when you see a lot more hustle and bustle, it makes you want to
Right.
be there. And I think
Absolutely.
that's what we're trying to do is continue to promote that kind of thing. So people will come downtown and stay downtown.
Well, that's exciting. And then also getting just even to Alpena. So we have some very exciting news with the new terminal with the airport.
Yeah. I'm not sure when the ribbon cutting is now. I know they moved it back
Yeah,
just a little
moved
bit
it back to
because of
March.
some
I think it's going to be
technology.
sometime in May. is
Sure.
what- yeah.
So that's very cool. It's something that's been a necessity for a long time. Finally got some funding together and working with a lot of partners, the county and the airport committee. Got that moving, and we're finally going to see that happen. So that's really important to us.
Yeah.
Mike's predecessor, Jim, his biggest focus for us and taught us a lot about partnering with a region and being more regional rather than just the city of Alpena. And things like the airport and the air service and things like that are really important.
Yeah.
And with the CVB and the chamber, you learn to, that every person that you bring into town, bring downtown, whether they're visiting family or here for a convention, those are potential future residents for us. We know quite a few people that have come to town just for one thing or another, ended up staying here and,
Oh, wow.
and opening businesses
Very nice.
and bringing their families along with them. So we, things like the better parks downtown and alleys and things to do in town, and just having that here is a bigger deal than maybe a lot of people think.
Absolutely. And then with the terminal, the airport, just for tourism, that does help with that, surely.
Sure. When you pull in, when you fly into a new community like ours was, and you get off the plane and
Yeah.
and you're in a building smaller than your house, it seems.
Yeah, for sure.
And everybody can't sit down at the same time and things like that. That reflects on the community. And so this is the new airport terminal is
Yeah.
perhaps bigger than a lot of people think.
Oh, absolutely. I'm really excited about that. Let's talk a little bit more about downtown. So much energy with all these great things happening. Are there any festivals or anything planned for this summer to take advantage of this new activity space coming in downtown?
Yeah, there's in the summer months, there's a Blues Fest. Last year, it was moved to downtown from the fairgrounds.
Okay.
And it went well. I mean, there were some issues that we're learning from. Not everybody was pleased with how it went because of traffic and things like that. So there's going to be some adjustments made to that. But that's a summer festival that's, again, planned for downtown.
Oh, that's exciting.
Yeah, it is, and it was a big draw last year. And
Very
so,
good.
again, it was the first time they held it down there.
Okay.
And our folks from the DDA who were involved in that recognize that there's some fine tuning to do. But so that's again planned for the summer. I think it's sometime late June, and they have live entertainment, of course.
Well, that's always a draw. Live
Yeah.
entertainment's always a good draw.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say there's probably at least 4 to 5 occasions where we will close down Second Avenue and really just kind of open that up for pedestrians and have these different types of festivals and that kind of thing. So it's something that the city, working with the city, we're constantly reviewing these, making sure they're happening in a safe way.
Yeah,
But
sure.
ultimately, they've been a very big success.
Very good.
Yeah,
So
there's been
lots
quite a
of things
few.
to look forward to.
Yeah, a lot of the business owners will come to City Council and ask to close an alley,
Okay.
even if it's not a festival, just to close an alley, to have an outdoor band. Even outside the downtown area, there's a couple of establishments outside of town that have the same thing, and we're very, I think we're very accommodating to that because we see the value in being able to get outside, and
Yeah.
and it works really well, and we get very few, if any, complaints, and it draws a lot of people.
It is amazing when you come downtown on a summer
Yeah.
night, on a beautiful summer day, and you look down Second Avenue and you see like it scoops, all the families, bikes, people, sitting outside of the Fresh Palette, and the table's full. A lot of those folks are tourists. They're not people I would recognize. So maybe they're local, maybe they're not, but it's pretty amazing to see just how crowded it's become down there, and it's wonderful, frankly.
Yeah.
And then, of course, when you have things like Northern Strike going on at the air base, you see all the people in uniform, all of our men and women who are serving our country, who, on their off time, come downtown to take advantage of it, and I think they mostly enjoy it. I think they enjoy their time down here, or out here, and it's a pretty hard place to beat in the summer months anyway.
Absolutely. Well, I'm told that
pretty
it's
amazing.
absolutely lovely.
It is. We can deal with the
Yeah.
winters here. The summers are pretty special.
That's the payoff.
That's the payoff. It is. That's what we all live for. No.
That's the payoff. That's the payoff. Well, I want to thank you, gentlemen, for joining me today for this episode of Insights and giving us a little bit of preview. I know you can't reveal everything, but giving us a preview of what we can look forward to as we continue to consider the economic future of Alpena. And you guys, you got it locked down. You're moving in that direction to bring people in and to provide opportunities for those that are here. So thank you again for joining us. And
Thank you, Sherry.
we'll have more of Insights when we come back. Welcome back to Insights. I'm Sherry Stewart, and joining me for this segment is Commissioner Bill Peterson. Welcome, Commissioner. Thank you for joining me. And you were a part of the Joint Task Force on Jail and Pretrial Incarceration, and this was a bipartisan effort to address Michigan's jail population, which has increased over the years. We know that jail populations have grown faster in rural counties than in urban or suburban areas. But interestingly, this increase is not necessarily due to crime. So we want to talk about all of that and what you all found out as you prepared this report.
Yes, I mean, the report was very bipartisan. It was great. And I was one of the two commissioners, county commissioners from the state of Michigan that was involved. I was in with the 100,000 people population or less for the basically from M55 North and UP, and Jim Talon from Grand Rapids was for 200,000 population.
Okay.
So they had one for the large counties and one for the smaller counties.
So there's just a lot of interesting facts and findings that you came away with from this report. I know you all looked at diversion methods to try to reduce the jail population. But what did you discover were some of the causes for the increase? And we know that it wasn't crime so much.
Well, I think one of the number 3 cause from people in jail was driving with suspended licenses. So there's one of your big areas. Misdemeanors and low-level felonies are the other ones that are being imposed in county jails. So with this program we went through with the diversions and all this stuff, we come back with this report, and we're trying to not eliminate the crime part of it, but say you get pulled over for a suspended driver's license.
Right.
Instead of getting throwing in jail and getting another niche on your license,
Right.
We're looking at maybe making appearance tickets, citations. So if you got pulled over, you might get a citation to appear at the court, and might impound your car, but you don't go to jail.
Right.
And that way it eliminates some of the stuff. And just doing the surveys of our county jail here, most of our people in a county jail right now are felony. Pre-trial. Out of the last week was 61 in the inmates, 40 of them were for pre-trial, or waiting pre-trial.
Wow.
So, and that's where our numbers come up, and
Is that in between time before
yep.
being okay?
so if we can get them out in diversion programs, I know there's a county, Otsego County, they have a diversion program where you don't spend time in jail, but every morning for during the week, you work, you shovel sidewalks, you do community service. And your caveat for that is you don't spend time in jail, but you have to do your community service work.
Right.
So it's, again, it's one of the things that this report worked at, just trying to eliminate those low-level misdemeanors and make them civil infractions.
And so that, as you work to implement some of those diversion methods, that reduces the jail population, and that alleviates some of the costs for the counties.
Yeah, the counties,
Yeah.
it's a big impact on the county.
Yes.
And it's, probably 15-16% of the county budget is spent on the jail. So I mean,
Wow.
it really impacts, and more people you have, again, just costs go up, and then you have to have more corrections officers, and it just keeps spiraling, going out of control.
And then I know also as part of your report, you found that many are needing medical, mental health
Yeah.
Evaluation and mental health care. And so tell me a little bit about
Well,
that.
in mental health, especially in rural communities, there is not the programs for mental health.
Right.
So if I have a mental health issue and I have to get pulled over, and I shouldn't be going to jail, but
Right.
the police have no place to take you. They don't want to go sit in a county hospital or the hospital for 6 hours for you to get evaluated.
Right.
So they take you to jail, and now you're in jail. So you usually spend 3, 4, 5 days there till you get bonded out or something like that. And that doesn't do you any good, because you got a mental health issue.
Right.
I know some of the reports I've got for our county jail, there's probably 10 to 12 people on psychotropic drugs there, which is mental health drugs to help them. And they should be getting diverted into a mental health system that's not available to people
Unfortunately.
in rural Michigan.
Right. Because a lot of those resources are just not here
No,
because
not
of
here.
the rural nature
No.
of the area.
Yep. And it's just, and the farther north you go, the worse it gets.
Unfortunately.
Yep. So that's one of the things we're trying to really work on the mental health part of it, trying to get more funding and more training for the police officers and the correction people.
Absolutely.
So I mean, that's one of the mandates that we really talked about. We wanted more training for police officers when they pull somebody over there and they got a mental health issue, that they're not automatically going to jail. They're trying to get them someplace else, that can help them.
Right, to try to reduce this growing population.
Yeah.
And it's nationwide, actually.
Oh, yes, it is. Yeah. The statistics in this report are really, we've never had the statistics we got now. Pew Charitable Trust, which wrote this report for us, this is the first time this has ever been done in the state of Michigan, where everything's been compiled together. And now all these statistics are there, and you start getting the true picture of who's spending the time in jail.
Yeah, it's a very comprehensive
We
report.
talked about women are there's 3 times as many women now it used to be in jail.
Yeah, you told me the population has actually, as you say, it is actually tripled.
It is tripled
for women.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, this report is very comprehensive. People can get it online, I
You can
believe.
get online. You have to go.
Yeah.
I'd have to remember what the report the name is, but if anybody wants to get the report, they can always email you at billpeterson@lpcounty.org, and I'll get them a link for it. So.
Yeah, I mean, it's just very comprehensive. It really does paint, as you say, a really good picture of what the challenges are. We would think that the prison population is increasing, but it's not so much. And that you would think that if the jail population is increasing, that it's from crime, but it's not necessarily crime. It's the pretrial.
It's pretrial. It's a driving offenses. It's contempt of court, child support, stuff that. If you get thrown in jail for child support, how do you pay for your child support?
Yeah, if you don't have a job.
If you don't have a job,
you can't get out and go to work.
It's a vicious cycle.
Absolutely, it
so
is.
That's what this report is trying to do, is trying to help that.
Try to address that.
And driving with suspended license or low-level misdemeanors like shoplifting that are a lot of times a lot of the women are getting thrown in jail for they're stealing baby formula, they're stealing diapers because they can't afford. And then they spend time in jail and they lose their kids.
Absolutely. So that's another vicious cycle.
Yeah, it's another vicious cycle.
Yeah,
so,
that you guys are addressing.
Yeah, if you could give them an appearance ticket.
Right.
Here, you have a ticket. You have to be in court this date. If you don't show up, we give you a bench warrant. Now you're going to jail.
Yeah, now you're going.
Yeah.
But this
you've got that chance.
Right, and so that helps not only the person, but also the county. And
County.
as you say, that important budget, because it
yep.
is, costly to
Costly,
house
yes.
people, unfortunately, there. So, Commissioner, I want to thank you for
Okay.
stopping in to talk
Okay,
with us
great.
today about this report. As you said, you can get it online. They can email your office
Yep.
for a copy of it. And the title of it is the Michigan Joint Task Force on Jail and Pretrial Incarceration.
If you Google that, you'll get, it'll
It'll
pop
come up as a PDF,
Yep.
absolutely. So thank you for joining me. This has been Insights. I'm Sherry Stewart.
Insights into Northeast Michigan is produced by WBKB News. If you have any comments, suggestions, or topics you would like to see on a future show, please email WBKB News. This has been a production of Thunder Bay Broadcasting Corporation. All rights reserved.